Okay, so this is Thursday, week 3 for Math 6. It's going to focus on ratios. So it says, in a national park, the ratio of black bear to grizzly is 3-1. So 3-1, black bear, grizzly bear. So BB and GB. Okay. If there are 24 black bears, black bear is 24, then how many grizzly bear will there be? Well, that's where you go ahead and multiply them across, right? And so then when you do that, you should have 3x equals 24. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So that is correct. Next question. If there have 12 grizzly bears, how many black bears will there be? So you go back to the same fraction, right? The same ratio. But instead, this time it gives you grizzly bear. So 12 goes on the bottom, x goes on top. And then you just do the same thing, cross multiply. So when you do that, you have 36 equals x. So your answer here should be 36. Do you see that part right there? So make sure you change that mistake, okay? If the total number of black bear and grizzly bear is 20, how many black bears and how many grizzly would it have? Okay, so if the total number of black is 20, how many black bears and grizzly would it have? All right, so this part right here is good because we want to check it. 3/1 equals, right? Grizzly bear is on the bottom. Black bear is on top, right? So this is black bear. This is grizzly bear, right? Now, what you can do is you can go ahead and cross multiply them to make sure they're exactly the same. So if you look at this, 3 times 5 is 15. Is that equal to 15 times 1? What's 15 times 1? Still 15, right? So does 15 equal 15? Yes, it does. So this is correct, okay? Okay, so then let's go on to the next part. She didn't circle that one. No, she didn't. That's me, right here. There's nothing circle. That's B. That's because you put 4. It's not 4. You need to change that. So I'm going to go ahead and circle the one that you got wrong right here. Do you see that? Did you change it? You put down 4. All right, so number 2. Okay, in the part, the ratio of the bald eagle to osprey is 4-6. So bald eagle, osprey is 4-6, but it's also the same thing as 2-3 because you can reduce it, right? Okay, write this ratio in the simplest form. Well, 2-3, that's what you wrote, so that's good. If there are 12 bald eagles, how many osprey will there be? So let's take a look at this. You do 2-3, right? If there are 12 bald eagle is going to be on top, x is on the bottom. When you cross multiply this, 2 times x is 2x, 3 times 12 is going to be 36. 36 divided by 2 is 18. So that's good, okay? C, you got that one wrong. Do you see that? And also D. So let's take a look at C. If the park had 30 ospreys, so again, you're using 2/3, right? Bald eagle, ospreys. If there are 30 ospreys, so 30 goes on the bottom. OS for ospreys. How many bald eagle will there have? X goes on top, right? You will need to cross multiply. 2 times 30 is 60. 3 times x is 3x. What's 60 divided by 3? 14. So change that. Do you see that? Okay. For D, if the total number of bald eagle osprey is 40, okay? So the total is 40. How many of each bird will be in the park? You know it's 2/3, right? So the way I kind of see this is because it's 2/3. What's 2 plus 3? 5. So the ratio has a total of 5, right? You take the total. Go grab your laptop, please. Total is 40 divided by the sum. Do you see that? What's 40 divided by 5? 8. Now that's your magic number. So we're going to do with this. You want to pay attention. Okay, ready? You take 2 times 8, which is what? 16. That's bald eagle, right? And you do 3 times 8, which is? This is osprey. Okay. Now look, is 16 plus 24, does that equals 40? Yeah. So that's your answer. 16 bald eagle, 24 osprey. Do you see that? You just take it and add it together. Like this one right here where it says, if the total number of grizzly is 20, how many grizzly bears will there be? Okay, remember your ratio was 3/1, right? So you add the sum of the ratio. 1 plus 3 is? 4. So we're going to do exactly the same thing for this one, right? The questions are the same, except the number is different. So then what you do is you take the total, which is 20, right? Divided by the sum of the ratio, which is 4. And what is that going to give you? 5, right? Please stop. Then you do 3 times 5 and 1 times 5. What's 3 times 5? Isn't that what you have for black bear? What's 1 times 5? And that's grizzly bear. Do you see that? That's what you do, okay? All right, so take a look at number 2. Or number 3. Go ahead and read number 3. Yeah.
Oh, I keep picking this one.
Because this one is already charged and ready to go. Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna pause this for a second.
But
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next part of this. Okay, so for number 3, okay, so for number 3, the ratio of lynx to mountain lions, so L to mountain lions is, or N wolves. Okay, so now we can't do this. So with a fraction, you only have 2 things, right? But now you have 3 things. So lynx to mountain lions to wolverines is 2 to 3 to 1, right? Now, if you decide to go ahead and do them separately, you can do them separately. Like if you want to do lions to mountain or lynx to mountain lions, you do 2/3 like that, okay? Or lion to wolverines, you could do 2/1. Do you see that? You could write them as a fraction separately like that, but you cannot have 3 of them in a fraction, okay? So if there are 6 lynx, how many wolverines will there be? Well, lynx and wolverines 2 to 1, right? Lynx is on top, 6 over x. 2 times x is 2x. 1 times 6 is 6. What's 6 divided by 2? So that is 3. So that's correct. Next one. If there are 50 mountain lions, what would be the lynx? Okay, so mountain lion lynx is 2 to 3, right? So here, we're going to do 2/3 equals 15 mountain lions. X. 2 times 15 is 30. What's 30 divided by 3? 10. And that's what you have. So that's good. Did you do that by yourself or did you see that answer from someone else? Okay, good. So you're getting better at this. 10 wolverines, how many mountain lions? So wolverine to mountain lion. Wolverine is, if you look over here, it's 1. Mountain lion is 3. So then we're going to have mountain lions, which is going to be X. Wolverine is 10. 30 equals X. And that's what you have right here, right? So this one, here we go. If the total number of lynx, mountain lion, and wolverine is 30, right? So the total is 30. How many of each animals would there be in the park? So remember how I told you take the ratio, just go 2 plus 3 plus 1 for the sum of the ratio, right? And what does that equal to? So then what you do is you take the total divided by the sum of the ratio. So what's 30 divided by 6? 5, right? Yeah. And then you multiply it. 2 times 5 is 10, so 10 lynx. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 mountain lions. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 wolverine. If you add these together right here, does that still equal 30? Yeah, so you know you did it correctly. Okay? Yeah. All right, so let's go on to the next part then. Next page. Don't you have 3? Is this due on Monday or tomorrow? Okay, let's just see if we can get some of it done. How about that?
Oh, no, I already did those.
No, this is blank.
Which one?
It's in the back.
Oh, I also need to do like 2 questions on the front.
Which 2 questions in the front?
Number 2.
Well, we already gone over all of them. What are you talking about? You mean the corrections? That's the back.
No, it's the front. This is the back.
Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. So when does that due? This is due Monday? Okay, what about the one we just corrected? When does that due? Tomorrow? Okay. All right. Okay, let's just do number 2, since you already did the other 2. I'll check those ones as well, but for now, let's just go on to this, okay? Okay, so for this one, number 2, it says write a proportion to represent each situation. Before you write your proportion, also write the ratio relationship like I did in 1A. Prove that your ratio are truly proportional. So during the storm, 7 inches of rain fell in 2 hours. Okay, so here is rain fall in inches, right? Over time in hours, right? 7 inches in 2 hours. So 7 inches over 2 hours, 7 to 2. And 28 in 8 hours, right? Write a proportion representing each situation. Well, you can just say 7 over 2, 28 over 8, right? And then you can just show that you just multiply by 4, because 7 times 4 is 28, 2 times 4 is 8. Do you see that? That's all you have to do. A can of pink paint is created by mixing 3-part red to 8-part white. Red is 3, white is 8, or 9-part red to 24-part white. Yeah? So once you have this, you could say 3, so we're going to do red paint over white paint, which is 3 over 8 is equal to 9 over 24. And if you look at this, 3 times 3 equals 9. 8 times 3 equals 24. You see that? Okay. C. John's brownie recipe uses 3 cups of flour to 2 cups of chocolate chip. So the two things you have is cup of what? Flour. And then cups of chocolate chip, right? Okay, so 3 cups or 2 cups. His mother's recipe used 4.5 cups of flour to 3 cups of chocolate chip. Now this one's a little bit more complicated because it's not in like a perfect decimal because you can't go, oh, 2 times what equals 3, right? And that's okay. So just keep it as is like that, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I wanna go over question number 1, so that way we can see this a little bit closely, okay? Because I feel like she actually included some information there that we probably need to have. Okay, so let's take a look at this then. Question number 1. If Huck can paint 2 fences in 5 days, how long would it take him to paint 4 fences? You need to go ahead and show the work. You're not showing the work here. Fences over days, right? Fences is 2, days is 5, equals 4 fences, x. Do you see how you're writing a bunch of words, which is great, but you need to show the work. 2 times x is 2x, 5 times 4 is 20. What is 20 divided by 2? 10. I don't see 10 anywhere here. I mean, it's great that you're writing that, but at the end of the day, it's a big jumble mess if you don't know what you're talking about. Do you understand me? Okay, so if you're gonna write anything, you can say the ratio to paint fences to the numbers of days is 2 to 5, right? If Huck painted 4 fences, it would take him 10 days. That's all you have to write. In addition to showing the work of what I just did. Okay? Like you're writing a bunch of stuff like I divided by this. And I'm like, that's great. But at the end of the day, you got the wrong answer. So stop taking the time to write these long sentences. You need to take the time to show the work. Okay? I'm not saying that to hurt your feelings. I'm just saying that so you can get the right answer next time. A. When 2 ratios are equivalent, we can write a proportion. Okay? For example, 2 over 5, which is a number of fences over the number of days, equals 4 to 10, since 2 over 5 and 4 of 10 are equivalent. So your teacher wants you to write it like this. Do you see that? Okay. Suppose Tom can paint 5 fences in 7.5 days. Is this ratio equivalent to Huck's? Okay, so let's try it. So Huck's is 2 fences in 5 days. Let's set that equal. We're going to put a question mark. Is that equal to Tom's? Tom's is 5 fences in 7.5 days. And it's important that you don't mix the fence and days and flip-flop them, okay? So now let's go ahead and cross multiply them. 2 times 7.5 is 15. 5 times 5 is 25. Are they equal? No, they're not. 25 is not equal to 20. 15 is not equal to 25. And then all you have to write here, and I didn't read exactly what you wrote, but as long as you wrote something similar to what I have here, you can write like Huck's ratio is 2 over 5 of painting fences to days is 2 over 5. Tom's is 5 fences to 7.5 days. When I set both fractions to each other and crossed, multiplied, the answer resulted in 15 equals 25, which is not equivalent. Okay, so going back to the question, is a ratio equivalent? Therefore, the ratio of Huck and Tom are not equivalent. Which is not, I'm just gonna put equal instead. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, and again, you'll be able to see this later today as well. Yeah, let's see. I forgot an I right there. Hold on a second. Let me save this. We're gonna go back to question number 2. I want to make sure I wrote it exactly how your teacher wanted it. Okay. All right, so your teacher went ahead and said that she wanted you guys to answer these questions exactly like this in this format. Do you see this format right here? I don't know. Do you see this format right here? So she wanted you to answer it in this format. So let's just review very quickly the question for number 7, or I'm sorry, for number A, letter A. And right here, so inches of rainfall and hours, right? So you can say exactly how she have it. Inches of rainfall, right? On the bottom, you could put hours, right? Equals 7/2 equals 28/8. And you can say something like, since 7/2 and 28/8 are equivalent. Does that make sense? Okay, so just use exactly how she used it. For B, you do exactly the same thing. So for B, you will just do, the first part would just be red paint. Bottom will be white paint. And you go to the fraction 3/8 is equal to 9/24. Since 3/8 and 9/24 are equivalent. Okay? Okay. Oh, you know what? For this one, or for C, I don't think I actually answered the question. So let's cross multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 4.5 is also 9. Are they equal to each other? They're equal, right? Yeah. So then you could just say cups of flour over cup of hot chocolate and just say 3/2 equals 4.5 over 3 cents. 3/2 and 4.5 over 3 are what? Equivalent. And you know they're equivalent because we just cross multiply and they are equivalent. Right? Okay. All right, we're moving on to the next part. Next part is, wait, did we finish this? Did we finish this entire page? Yeah, we did. So we're gonna go back to this for number 3. So we're gonna go to the back. I'm just gonna go over question number 3, A and B, and then I'm gonna go pick up your brothers, and that's it. Let's see. Okay, so it says write a proportion to represent each situation below, then find the missing value to make a proportional relationship. Be sure to write the ratio relationship before you write the proportion. Okay, a recipe calls for 2 cups of sugar to lime juice. Okay, so cups of sugar to cups of lime juice, right? Is equal to 2/1/2, right? How much lime juice should be added if you want to make 6 cups of sugar? So 6 goes on top, X goes on the bottom, right? So this right here is your ratio, okay? This is your ratio. Do you see that? This entire thing, that entire thing is your proportion, is when you have the equal sign in between them, okay? So then when you solve them, 2 times X is 2X. What's 1/2 times 6? What's half of 6? If you have $6 and you do half of it, how much is that? Okay. 3. What's 3 divided by 2?